Now 10:31. Are you going to meeting?
Yeah, I just have to wait for.
How are you?
Good, Eric. You, Martino.
I'm good, thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of my South Jersey Journey. I'm Jacob Hackett, your host. My guest today is the co-founder of Wigs and Wishes. He owns his own hair salon in Washington Township, New Jersey. He's worked with such celebrities as Paula Abdul and Taylor Dane. Please welcome Martino Cartier.
Thank you so much for having me, Jacob.
Thank you for being here. So my first question, as I said in the open, you founded Wigs and Wishes. How did that start?
So my best friend in Texas, his mother had cancer, and they're a prominent family out in Houston, wealthy family. And when I went to visit her, I noticed that her wig was so unrealistic. And I said to my friend Johnny, I said, with all the money your parents have, couldn't they have bought a better wig? And he said, we spent $5,000 on that wig. And it just hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, what does the average woman do? So I knew nothing about wigs at the time. This is 10 years ago. And then I found out what makes a wig not look like a wig. And it was everything she didn't have. It's something called lace and monofilament, and it makes the wig so thin that you actually see the scalp through it. You don't have to wear a cap underneath it. So originally, it was just for breast cancer patients. And then a woman came in with ovarian cancer. So at the time, it was called Marian and Friends. Then I realized I couldn't say no to an ovarian cancer patient. So we became friends are by your side. Then I met a little girl named Kiki who was turned down by Make-A-Wish. She was turned down by Locks of Love, and she was 11 years old, and she had uh, Wilms cancer, which is kidney cancer, Wilms tumor. And her wish was to meet Justin Bieber. So when I said to her, "Is there anything I can do for you besides a wig?" Like, never granted a wish really before. And she said, "Meet Justin Bieber." I almost died. I thought she was going to say she wanted to like go to Disney, something that was easy. And it took us 7 months and we made it happen. And she met Justin Bieber and I met him. He was a really nice guy. And then she passed away 7 days later. And that's when Friends Are By Your Side became Wigs and Wishes. So here we are. That was about 8 years ago. And we provide about 25,000 free wigs to women all over the United States a year going through cancer. No one gets turned away. There's no red tape. There's no application. You have cancer, you get a wig. And the wishes have been really cool too. You know, we've granted wishes for kids to play basketball with Shaquille O'Neal. We've done just some crazy stuff. You know, like we had a little girl named Desi who was 6. She had like 48 hours to live. I got the phone calls that she wanted to FaceTime Taylor Swift before she passed away. It was like so sad. And by the grace of God, we made it happen. And she FaceTimed Taylor Swift, and she passed away that night. I think that's when I really realized that the power of people getting together to make a difference, using your time, your talent, your treasure the right way, and social media, you know, has made such a difference in our charity, because you just never know when someone knows someone that can make it happen.
Yeah, and that's just it. The power of usage of technology now more than ever. It's
Hmm.
just, you don't know, as I like to say, who knows who anymore.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
So, yeah, I mean, I know you've done work for HSN, correct?
Yes. So I guess like 10 years ago, I had a dream to be on HSN. I wanted to be like in the home of every American woman selling hair products. And so I tried to get on HSN and I got a meeting with them. And they're like, "Well, you don't have a product line and you don't have this, you don't have that. You need to come back when you have it." So I started sending them videos of like, I would be in Target and I would pick up a ruler or a candle or whatever, and I would say, "You need this because these crystals and da 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 da," and I would pitch anything I could find. And I kept sending and sending and sending and nothing. And then one day there was a brand called Amika, a hair brand, and they didn't like their spokesperson per se, and was a great talented hairdresser, but he just didn't resonate with the camera. So they told Amika, "If you don't find somebody else, your brand is off air." That was my foot in the door. So one of the brand, what was she called? I guess her name was Jenna. But Jenna was like one of the brand specialists for HSN. And she said, "Look, there's this guy in New Jersey who keeps trying to get on air. He keeps sending us videos and we're not responding to him. Maybe he could be your brand guy." And I got this email and they said, "We're in Brooklyn. When can you be here to see if if there's a fit?" I said, "As soon as you want me." They said, "Tomorrow." I said, "You got it." It was my first time ever to Brooklyn. I hopped on a train, went to Brooklyn, and it was a flat iron. And I pitched that flat iron like it was my own. And so they hired me as their spokesperson. I went on air in like 2 weeks. I had no idea what I was doing. And when you're in a live studio, there's like 6 cameras and they all have different names, like a jib, a this, that. I didn't know anything about that. And when they light up, you have to look at that camera or you won't be looking into the camera at home, right? So like you have to look at the specific camera. Plus there's a thing in your ear called a IFB. So you've got a producer talking to you, telling you what to do. You've got a host talking to you. You've got the customer at home calling in. It was so much that I didn't expect. I literally started to cry. I panicked. Like I just like it was so much because my first airing on HSN was something called a Today Special, where you're on for 24 hours, no sleep, like zero sleep. You just got to like truck through it. And I wound up selling out, which was $1 million in flat irons, my first airing for this company. So then I wound up later on becoming friends with the CEO, Mindy Grossman, who is now Oprah's CEO, and she's the head of Weight Watchers. And when we became friends, and I also started to become her hairdresser, she said, you need your own brand. I don't like this, Amika. You need your own brand. Then I found some investors, and that's how the Martino by Martino Cartier came out. And that brand has now funded, I don't even know, well over $100,000 for Wigs and Wishes. And I have another TS coming up December 30th on HSN. So I'm celebrating 10 years at HSN. And it's been a crazy journey. So I think the moral of the story is you never give up. You never give up.
And like you said, the moral of the story, don't give up, keep trying, keep putting your product out there. And I know one of the celebrities that granted one of the wishes for one of the kids, Sal.
Oh, he was great for Bobby. Yes, he granted a wish for a little boy who has Down syndrome and had leukemia. He's now cancer free. And Sal granted it like 4 or 5 times. Madison Square Garden, Sugar House Casino, Wigs and Wishes at Lucian's Manor in Berlin, the Gloucester County Community Church. I mean, he is just, Sal the Voice is such a genuine human being. And granting that wish for Bobby was amazing.
Yeah, and it's funny, I was on Facebook and all of a sudden I saw that pop up and I'm like, hey, I know him. And then I started watching Wigs and Wishes. And it's funny, this podcast started about a month ago. And I'm like watching the Wigs and Wishes on TV and I'm going, I think I know who I want to have. And that's an eventual guest. And that's how I got.
That's awesome. That's so awesome.
So my next question, you're friends with Paula Abdul?
I am. She's a wonderful human being. She's so talented, so kind, so giving, so philanthropic. And I remember I'm thinking it was like 8 years ago, and I couldn't find a celebrity guest to come to Wigs and Wishes in Berlin, where we take the whole ballroom of Lucian's Manor, all 5 ballrooms. And at the time, the chief marketing officer, Andy was his name at HSN. I had called him and I said, do you have any celebrity friends that you can help me with this year? I said, I'm at a wit's end. I can't find anybody. And he said in his British accent, what about Paula Abdul? And I said, that was a bad accent. I said, I would love to have Paula Abdul. Are you kidding me? Like, I had the biggest crush on her when I was in 8th grade. Like, so he reached out to her and she said yes. And she is the only celebrity that has never charged us to come make an appearance, let alone perform. Yeah, let alone perform. She did her first concert before her residency in Vegas at Lucian's Manor in 25 years. She did her first concert, since the last time she performed 25 years later, right here in Berlin, New Jersey. And she fell in love with Wigs and Wishes. We became friends. She has come every single year. This year we had her virtually because of COVID, but other than that, she is definitely our rock star. And I still can't believe it. She's one of our chairwomen. She's amazing.
Well, Martino, it's nothing to do with cancer, but my family started a handicap baseball league to the South Jersey Field of Dreams, and I've met some famous celebrities through that too, and I'll send you more information when we restart after COVID ends. I'm hoping sooner rather than later. But
Me too.
It's just, and I mean, I know friends that have, well, that's nice that they don't that she was the only celebrity that never
Never charged.
charged.
Mm-mm.
Wigs and wishes, like, I know the annual is in October.
Usually, yeah.
You start planning, like, as soon as this year was over, you started the
Yeah.
next day.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Because we were trying to do a fundraiser for Field of Dreams like that uh, last March. Of course not, because of the pandemic. Anyway, they were trying to plan a fundraiser, and I was on the planning committee in like 2 months, and I'm like, how can you? They pulled it off, but thanks to COVID, we never had it. But
You
it's,
know, it takes an army. We have a lot of volunteers, probably like 130 volunteers that really make it work, you know. But we would love to help Field of Dreams. Like we could get involved and we could help. We could help your
I
charity
will
too.
send you the information once we get rolling. I have your number now, so I can just,
Hmm. Text me.
yeah. So I mean, it's just interesting to see how things evolve over time, and thanks to Mindy for getting, because I asked her first before I went straight to you. So how long have you been in like the hair business around here in?
So I started the first salon in 1998. I remember I didn't have two nickels to rub together, and there was this Jewish guy who gave me a break in life. His name was Leon Goldberg. He was so wonderful, and he just gave me my break, and I opened the salon with no money, no employees, no anything. And I took a leap of faith, and Leon took a leap of faith for giving me a chance. And you know, that was in 1998, and the rest is history. That salon then sold to go to a bigger one, and another one, and another one, and you know, and here we are. I always say I'm Jewish by association because everyone that ever gave me a break in life is Jewish.
Right, and especially well, you know this as well as I do, with the name Goldberg. I think that's the last name. It's like,
Yeah, and my attorney's Epstein, and he always gives me a break. That's why I said I'm like an Egyptian Christian Jew. It's like you can't make it up.
you got it all mixed in, really.
I know. I know.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, and I mean, like, like, have you done any other big events besides Wigs and Wishes?
Yes. So the American Cancer Society has this bucket list bash down in Naples, Florida. So I was the MC and the host of that, raised $1 million in one night. One man actually donated, I think it was $250,000 if I danced with his wife. He was an elderly man. And he said, my wife loves to dance and I just can't dance anymore. He said, if you dance with her tonight, I will make this donation. I was like, well, let me put my dancing shoes on then. So, you know, that was really cool. And we have done a lot of cool stuff like right now during this pandemic, we have a Toyland. I'm pointing like you can see, but we have a Toyland drive-by. So like our front yard has, you know, 10-foot fiberglass toys and dolls and rockets and planes on the roof and crazy stuff, and the kids, the joy that it brings to them. And it's for Wigs and Wishes. It's the Wigs and Wishes Toyland drive-by. We have flown 10 kids, 10 inner city kids that have never flown before that have cancer, from Children's Hospital of Philadelphia to Shaquille O'Neal's house in Florida to let these kids with cancer play basketball with them. Many of those kids have since passed away. But we're always doing something. And I probably should go back to 98 when this first started. Before Wigs and Wishes, Marianne and Friends Are by Your Side, I had a client by the name of Heidi. And she had a little boy named Bobby. And it really started with Bobby. It really started before my friend's mom. It just didn't have a title or a name. And this woman came in for the first time to get her hair cut. She had this little kid with her, little boy. And I cut her hair and I didn't see her for like 6 months. So I assumed that she just didn't like her hair and wasn't coming back. But the truth was her son was diagnosed with a very rare form of brain cancer. She's a single mom. So she comes in and get her hair done again, and she looked terrible. And I said, what happened? What's wrong? I haven't seen you, like, whatever. And she told me about Bobby. And again, back then I didn't have any employees. It was a very tiny salon. I didn't have any money, but I asked her, is there anything I could do to help? And she said, I just wish I didn't have to work. I wish that I could just stay home with my son. He was terminal. So I had this concept, let's have a cut-a-thon. We'll cut hair, it was just me. I'll cut hair on Sunday outside, and everybody can make their check payable to you. We'll try to raise as much money as we can. A couple other hairdressers heard about it, decided to help. Our goal was to raise $5,000. In 2 days, we wound up making it a 2-day cut-a-thon. In 2 days, we raised $22,000. Bobby,
Wow.
this is the best part of the story. That money paid the mortgage for Heidi for 2 years, and Bobby lived for 2 years. So the exact amount of money we raised paid the mortgage for the exact amount of time that little boy had left on earth. We're still friends today, me and his mom. And she was here looking at the Christmas Toyland drive-by the other day with her daughter and her son, James, who was a baby when Bobby was diagnosed. He's now 20. So I think that taught me a lot. That taught me that when you really have a mission, or you really believe in something, or you really want to put your all into something, you can achieve anything, which is like your field of dreams. I love the name Field of Dreams. You know, it's like, if you build it, they will come, you know, that movie. And it just, I think that's awesome. I really want to get involved with your charity.
And like I said, I will send you all the information. And it's if you build it, they will come. I'm in the. We have a couple sister program, not sister programs, but programs that like ours that build off of our idea. So I had a meeting about 2 weeks ago with a guy who was in Tom's River, wanted to build the same type of idea as us. I said, okay. And, we were just, what ours was and what his was. And, it's just interesting when you build off of each other's ideas, what we have versus what they have.
Sure.
Yeah, it's just interesting to see what what comes of it. While we're on the subject of celebrities, what other celebrities besides Paula Abdul have been involved in Wigs and Wishes and working with you?
Sure. So Justin Bieber, Taylor Swift, Shaquille O'Neal, Adam Sandler, oh my gosh, what's her name? I'm drawing a blank on her name, but anyway, she, you would know it. I always forget her
Describe
name.
her, I might be able to help you.
All right, so she's African American. She had a baby a couple years ago. Long hair, very pretty. Jordan Sparks.
From Idol. Yeah.
Yeah, Jordan Sparks. And Lainey Kazan from My Big Fat Greek Wedding. Fran Drescher.
The nanny.
The nanny, yes. And one of my favorites, who sang for our event at Madison Square Garden, she sang Memories and Cats. I have the worst memory, like Dory the Fish. Her name is Betty Buckley. She sang Memories from Cats, and she performed it live at Madison Square Garden. So there was like 18 Tony Award winners there at that event. And then a bunch of the housewives have helped over the past. Carson Kressley, he co-hosted one year. Sal the Voice. You like Carson?
Carson is just so. I've seen him on TV, in so many
Oh,
different.
he's the best. Yeah, he's great. He's awesome. He's awesome.
And it's just it's you feel like you're actually with them in the like you're watching them. Carson's great.
He's great. No, he's great. And I know I'm forgetting some because it's been so many. Adam Sandler was the very first one that granted a wish. And it was on the set of Grown Ups 2. We got to go on the set. Angela wanted to meet him. And he played tennis with her. He had lunch with her. I mean, Adam Sandler, and he never charged a penny. Adam Sandler is the real deal. Let me tell you, that man is a wonderful human being. Wonderful human being.
I don't know if you saw it, but there was a story on NBC in Philadelphia. A kid it wasn't cancer, but a kid had a terminal disease or an illness, and Adam Sandler was in Philly taping a movie, and they were trying to get in touch with him.
I remember this. Yeah.
I wonder if that ever came to fruition or came about.
I think it did, if my memory serves me correctly, but he's just a great guy. I'm telling you, he's the real deal.
And I've had a couple other guests on, and we've talked about this. Some celebrities, I do like radio and DJ on the side, so I never know who I'm gonna run into. But some of these celebrities are so nice, and then some of them you get like, that's how they really are in person.
Honestly, you are so correct. Some of them, and I won't mention names, but some of them kind of forget that they asked for it. You wanted to be this. You tried so hard, just like I tried to be on HSN. You tried to be famous. And now that you got it, you're not using your time and your talent and your treasure for the better of the good of people, or helping Americans or this country or whatever. And, it's a shame. It's a shame. And then those celebrities are miserable and they're not happy and they wind up whatever. But it's hard. When I have a wish for a kid, again, I don't want to drop a name, but I had a kid who was dying. And all she wanted was to meet this very famous person. And we got to them. And they said no. And there was nothing I could do. And it crushed me that I had to tell this family that they said no. And now the girl's gone. And now that celebrity has to live with it the rest of her life. I wanted 15 seconds. That's all I needed. Make a little video, 15 seconds of your time and send it. That's all I asked. And she said no. And I have a hard time with that. But, thank God there's a lot of them that say yes. And that's what I have to focus on. I can't focus on the negativity. But to your point, you are correct.
Yeah, and I mean, Martino, is that video with Adam? Is that on YouTube? Because
Yeah.
I will watch that now.
Yeah. He's a great guy. He's a great guy. In fact, Brigade, are you here? Brigade? I thought my son just was downstairs because he came on that wish, and he could tell you himself how awesome Adam was.
It's funny. It's funny. I had the holiday station on Pandora the other night, and they kept playing his famous Christmas songs.
Put on your yarmulke. It's time for Hanukkah.
Yep.
Smoke your marijuana.
Yep. And, I mean, that's the kind of celebrities you want. I'm not going to name names either, but that's how you want it to be. And I like music from the 80s. I wasn't born in the 80s, my mom and I just like music from the 80s. And I remember seeing a YouTube video. You had Taylor Dane?
That's right. We had her 2 years ago. Last year. Not this one, the one before. And she belted it like nobody's business. I mean, that woman can sing. You would have thought it was back in the 80s. You would have thought you were listening to a CD or a cassette. It sounded the exact same way as it did back then. When she sang Tell It to My Heart and Don't Rush Me, the whole place went nuts.
What? Wow! It was like the same Taylor that like she never even changed.
It's truth. And guess what? Paula Abdul too. You have to see her dance. If you watched her on the BMA Awards a couple years ago, they were flipping her, dipping her. She was jumping off
I saw
scaffolding.
that. I'm like,
Yeah.
how could she do that?
I have no idea, but that girl's got talent.
Yes, she does.
Yep, she's got talent. She's unbelievable.
Just, like, yeah, these musically talented people that are just flipping, jumping up, and I'm like, and she's moving like she was in the 80s. It's
Yep.
crazy.
Yeah, it's true.
Crazy how flexible they still are. So I didn't see the entire virtual event. I watched, parts of it because I was streaming it from TV, and then it would say, I don't know what it said. And then, so you had her virtually, like she joined you?
Yeah, we did. And it's on YouTube. The whole event is on YouTube. Brigade, come here for a minute. Stick this in your ear so you can meet and hear Jacob. And I want you to tell him about what it was like. Well, you can sit down so you can see you. This is my son, Brigade. How are you?
I'm not good at you.
Good, thank you. Tell him what it was like when you went to grant that wish with Angela with Adam Sandler.
It was crazy. It's like walking into like in like an enclosed football stadium, but just empty inside, and it was like a whole different world. Like you walk into a video game, and there was just a whole like trees, like everything was set up as in it was like that house, but that neighborhood was moved inside. It was crazy, and there was everybody that was in the movie just walking around casually saying hi to each other. It was like literally like being in like inside the movie, like a video game.
The whole set was
crazy.
indoor.
Yeah.
Like what you see when you look at Grown Ups 2 and they're outside jumping in a pool and Shaquille O'Neal breaks the diving board. That's all indoor.
They recreated that.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how nice was he?
It was, yeah, they were so nice.
Amazing. All of them. Chris
Rock.
Rock, Kevin Hart.
No, Kevin.
No, the white guy, Kevin.
The fat guy. The mall cop. What's his name?
Yeah, Mall Cop.
Kevin.
James.
Yeah, Kevin James. Yeah, Kevin James.
He was there. Shaq was there. The indoor set was ridiculous. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That was really wild.
Crazy.
Martino, is this local?
No, it was in Peabody, Massachusetts.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
So that's sounds very cool.
It was.
Yeah. And I've seen parts of that movie, and it's funny.
It is funny.
Kevin Hart, he's like the perfect casting role to have in a movie like that.
No doubt,
Yeah,
for sure. Oh, that's awesome. You have to go to school?
No.
Okay. Well, thanks for giving your input.
No problem. Nice meeting you.
You too.
Virtually.
Thank you.
No problem.
Yeah, I forgot about that indoor set. That was crazy. The whole thing. Nuts.
I mean, it's just interesting to hear like the stories from you and the different experiences of what you've done with Wigs and Wishes over the past 10 years, as you said in the open.
Yeah, it's I never thought that it was going to become what it is today. I thought I was just going to be able to help a few women in my hometown, and now my girlfriend, she actually is our chief compassionate officer. So she responds to all the wig request emails that come in every day. And some days she gets like 50 a day. It's crazy how many women are affected by cancer and children. It's crazy. 30,000 kids are diagnosed with cancer every year in America. 1 out of 7 women will get breast cancer in her lifetime. Every 36 seconds, a woman is diagnosed with ovarian cancer, which is very tough cancer to fight. So the statistics are just getting worse. They're not getting better. It used to be 1 out of 8 women 2 years ago with breast cancer. Now it's 1 out of 7. So, I hope they find a cure, and I hope one day we don't have to have wigs and wishes. But until they find a cure, we'll keep fighting.
Yeah, like you said, like this has nothing to do with cancer, but I was watching an interview with Michael J. Fox, and he said, I guess it was 2 weeks ago, he said, I hope one day we find a cure for Parkinson's disease.
Yeah, I think I saw that interview. Yeah, that's sad. There's so many sad things that are out there. And, but there's people like you that make a nonprofit to help people that have a need. My friend Julian started the DreamLink Foundation. He's helped us grant wishes and his family, for kids and women with cancer. So, I often think of this one song, and it talks about when people are mad at God and they're like mad at him, like, why can't you do something about this? And the song says, I did, I made you. So we can be the solution to problems if we just believe in it enough and don't give up,
Exactly. Don't give up. Keep pushing forward. Keep striving to make things better.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't stop right in the middle. You're not going to find a solution that way. You're not going to find the pieces to the puzzle that way. You're not going to, things aren't going to get accomplished if you give up in the middle and say, oh, that's it, I'm done,
You're right. Yeah.
Yes, I was going to ask you one more question. Of course, no one knows what 2021 holds, but are you hoping to get back to a normal fundraiser next year?
I mean, Lord willing, but honestly, I doubt it's going to happen, only because I think people are still going to be scared. People were scared this year, even though we were social distanced and we were able to hold it at the church. So we were able to block off every other pew. A church that holds 1,000 people, we were going to put 240 in. So everybody was, again, social distance, and we let them come in one row at a time, leave one row at a time. We had thank God, we had no COVID outbreak. We had no COVID exposures. We did everything safe, but some people bought tickets just to help support and didn't come, so I just think that it's going to take a long time for us to recover as a country, and Lord willing, sooner than later.
Oh yeah, me too. I mean, things will get better, but don't expect the light to turn on. Don't expect the switch at the snap of a finger.
That's right. I agree with you. But you know what? I think it's sad for all the lives that were lost, but I think a lot of us have learned through this. We've learned lessons. Some things have been for the better. Obviously, some things have been for the worse. But united, we stand. That's why we're the United States of America. We have to just be one family, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yes, we do it. You're right on. I mean, we have to be, as I'm going to pull out a lyric of a song again, united we stand, divided we fall.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
right.
things will get back to normal. We just gotta be patient.
That's right.
Oh,
Got to be patient and keep the faith.
I know what I was going to ask you. You did, and this was when I was thinking about what to ask you last night. What did you do for our viewers that don't know, in Washington Township?
As far as
high
high school.
Yes.
So it was around Easter, I guess, that I thought about this. My son had said to me, I said, it's so sad that these kids don't get to graduate and go to their prom and their senior trip. And my son said, Dad, you don't get it. What's worse is they don't get to say bye to their teachers. They don't get to say bye to the kids that are going to be going off to college that they've spent God knows how many years with. And I was like, wow, I didn't even think of it like that. So I called my friend John Durante, who owns a bunch of McDonald's, and I had said to him, would you be willing to donate something to all the kids in Washington Township High School? I think it was 514 kids. And he said, if you can get other people to do it, I'll do it. So he gave me a challenge. So that turned into, and I'll forget people if I start naming a few, but I can tell you like so many people that gave the bag, a swag bag that each kid got that the principal, Mr. Strout, hand delivered to each house. Took him like 3 weeks. Was worth like $200. And then we raised the money and bought a bouquet of flowers for all 900 teachers in the Washington Township School District. And what we did is we did it social distancing. It was a 2-day drive-by. We had parents of the graduates come in the parking lot of the salon. Every other spot was a parent. And the teachers, 12 to 3, drove through, and the parents gifted these bouquet of roses. It was amazing. We had a DJ volunteer. We had the Washington Township Police Department directing traffic. They volunteered. And then it's on NJ.com. You'll see all the sponsors that helped. Then it was like Williamstown High School reached out for help, Glassboro High School, Gloucester County Institute of Technology. So we wound up helping 4 high schools. All the graduates got a bag like this. And the businesses that came together to donate was just, I mean, nothing short of a miracle. And these kids were so grateful. There's a video on my YouTube channel of just the kids of Township and just hearing the joy in their voices as they were thanking all the sponsors. It was incredible. It really was incredible. I forgot about that. I told you I'm like Dory the fish. I forgot about it already.
I will definitely look that up. I will look that up. And for any of you who want to learn more, Ways and Wishes has Facebook. They have Twitter, I believe, Instagram, all the social media platforms you can imagine. And one week till Christmas, what are your plans?
1 week till Christmas. I can't believe it's only 1 week away. I guess, I just hope that to be safe and with my immediate family, it's not the same, obviously, but I just want health and peace for all of us and unity and some good food on Christmas.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Martino, for being my guest today.
It is my pleasure. Make sure you send me the link. I want to share it and tell everybody about you and your charity as well. I think it's phenomenal what you're doing.
I will. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of my South Jersey journey. Jacob Hackett saying goodbye for now. Have a Merry Christmas. There will be an episode next week. It was pre-taped in October. I will see you all with a brand new episode after Christmas. Thank you, Martino.
Thank you, Jacob. Merry Christmas, my friend.
Christmas. See
Thank
you all next time. And